Hi everybody, it's Kara. I have done a few charms and charm bracelets and have posted videos on at least one of the charm bracelets I made recently. When I did that, I got a few questions on how I put my charm bracelets together. So I thought I would do a few videos showing you how I do that. I'm not sure how many, probably 3 or 4 at most. I'm going to do this first one on all of the supplies and tools that I use, and then I will do the next one on how I determine where my charms are going to go and how I attach them, and the third one will probably be how I put together the little beads that I put on the charms, using head pins and eye pins. And then the last will probably just be a video of the entire charm bracelet finished. So for those of you who are interested in that, that's what I'm going to be doing here. So right now this first one is going to be on the tools and supplies that I use to make my charm bracelets. Let me start by saying I have not yet taken a jewelry class. This is just what I figured out works for me. I'm absolutely not a professional. When I have to do a few things, you'll see that it takes me a while because I have a hard time shaping the eye pins sometimes. So I just want to let you know, this is just my helpful hints and my way of making my charm bracelets. Okay, so first of all, you will need some tools. You can either buy one like this one, which does basically 3 things. It will help you curve the head pins and eye pins so that you can attach them to the bracelet. It will also, right in there, cut them. And in here, it helps flatten or crimp things. So it's kind of like a 3-in-1 tool. The downside to this is that if you're going to use jump rings, you really need to have 2 tools because you hold on to them, and I'll show you that in just a little bit. But you hold on to them with 2 tools to open and close them. So this would be a good beginning tool, but you might want to have something else to help you if you're going to be using jump rings. So that's what I started with. But I recently got a few new tools. So I got a few new pliers. I got these 2 sets that I'm going to be using. This one they're both obviously pliers. This one has a flat, surface, I guess you'd say. So it'll help you close things up. And then this is the one that has the rounded, hopefully you can see that, rounded tips that'll help you curve the head pins and bend wire and things like that. So there's those. I also have a separate cutting tool that I'm going to be using. There's that. And then I just recently found this little tool. Hopefully you can see that little tip right there. Because I've started to use split rings. I like them a lot more when I'm attaching charms because they'll hold on the bracelet better. And this little tool helps you open up the split rings, which I will show you in a minute. And again, I'm relatively new to that, so it's going to take me a little bit to show you those kind of things. So there's those. I also have this bead board, which you can pick up at Joann's or Michael's. They're not very expensive because they're basically, they're not heavy duty sturdy, at least these cheap ones that I bought. The reason I like this one is because this one actually, bottom part comes out. So if you don't finish your bracelet all at once, you could leave it in here with the parts you're using, put the top in, and it's covered, and you don't have to worry about it spilling or anything like that. So that's actually why I got that. So there's that. It does have measurements on here, so it helps you determine how long you want your chain to be. And that's the next thing you need. You will need some sort of chain. And let me remind everybody, I am talking about making bracelets that are costume jewelry. These are not fine jewelry bracelets or anything. So you would need to decide what color link you want to use, and then how big the link is. So this is one example of a silver. This is another one. I buy mine at Joann's and Michael's. You can find in some of the jewelry stores and online stores the link in larger quantities if you'd like to do that. I don't want to do that because I like to change it up. I don't like to stick with the same thing. So I don't want a huge, massive quantity of anything. Here's another silver. And then this is a more unique one that I just picked up. And it actually has 2 rows of links that are attached. You can see that right there. And I think that one's going to be fun to play with. And then I do have one that is the kind of bronzy gold vintage color, because I'm going to make a real vintage themed bracelet for someone. So, and I do have other link, but that's just the ones I wanted to show you. So there's that. Then you typically need head pins of some, oops, sorry guys, of some size. That's the one that just has the little flat end. I don't know if this will focus on it or not for you. Maybe not, but they have the flat end a little bit like a nail head. And they come in various sizes. So you can get them kind of like that medium length that I just showed you. Like this length. In between. Very small. Hopefully you guys can see the length down there. Or these really super long ones. It all depends on how much you're going to be putting on them. And then here are these really long ones. You can also find head pins with decorative ends to them, like these two. You can see that has a nice little decorative tip. So you can find those out there too. These typically you will find in smaller quantities, and they'll be more expensive than just your basic average flat end head pin. And then there are also these that are called eye pins. And the eye pins have basically a little loop at the end, or eye. That's why they're called eye pins, I would assume. So you can use those if you want to have something dangling off of it when you put it on the charm or charm bracelet. So there's those. Then you need something to attach all of the charms and beads to the bracelet itself. And you have a choice of a jump ring, which is just a simple circle of wire. And it opens like, sorry, like this. There's one little piece at the top there. Hopefully you can see that. And you just bend it, slip it on, slip whatever on there you're going to put on there. Oops. Doing this at a funny angle, guys, sorry. And then you should do exactly what I didn't. There we go. And put it back together. Okay? So you could use jump rings, or you could use these split rings, which I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see this or not, but basically have more than one circle. Let's see, maybe if I pick it up with the tool. Basically, it's kind of like that thing that you get on a key ring, to where you have to open it up. Come on, camera. Open it up and slide the keys on. It's that same idea. You have to open up the split ring and slide whatever on you're going to use to attach it. I'm sorry, I can't. There we go. Maybe a little bit further away. Can you see that? I'm opening it up with the tool. So I would slide a charm or something like that on there and then attach it to the bracelet, to the link. Hopefully you guys can see that. So you need some of those, and both come in different sizes depending on, you know, what you want. And then you need a variety of charms, and I've picked quite a few. I always pick probably more than I'm going to need for what I'm making, but I want to have a variety to choose from. And I really do like these bracelets chunkier. So I have a tendency to put a whole bunch on there. And obviously if you're making it for a specific individual, you probably have something in mind when you're picking out all of the charms. Maybe they're hobbies or something about them, you know, those kind of things. So you have all those, and then you would need, actually let me move these over here. You would need the beads you were going to possibly attach. I have some larger ones, and then I have a variety of other ones. I'm going with kind of a white, black, purple, silver theme color for this one. So there's a lot of the beads I'm going to use. And then I also like to use, if you guys have been watching my videos, you shouldn't be surprised, buttons on mine. So I picked a variety. These are just some decorative buttons. And then I also pulled several from my glass vintage button collection that I'm acquiring. And I have pulled those out too to use. Again, in the same kind of colors. Purples, silver, because I'll be using silver chain, white, a little bit of black, those kind of things. I also pulled a few bead caps. I just have some small ones right now on this one that I want to use. Little bead caps. I have those. A couple different kinds. I also pulled a few little spacer beads, like this little flower. And a couple little butterfly beads. So all that. And I also pulled some of my new rhinestone ones that I have. I pulled a few of the big clear ones to use, and I'll put those in with the beads. And then I pulled some of the itty bitty ones, little rhinestone ones that I'm going to possibly use. And I haven't decided for sure on the chain, but I'm thinking I may try out this double strand, because that seems kind of cool and fun. So I may try and use that. So that'll probably be my chain. It's either going to be that one or this one. Haven't quite decided. But then when you get all of that on there, you still need some sort of clasp. I've been using toggle clasps, so I pulled a couple. I have this set, which has a little rhinestone on each end. And then I have this more simple set, which is a heart, which is kind of cute too. So obviously I probably won't use all of that, but that's all of the things that I pull, all the tools that I use, and that would then help me get ready to get started on the actual bracelet. So if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I hope that was helpful, and I will be back with the next step on my bracelet here pretty soon. Thanks. Bye.